Welcome back to Live Life and Win, the series celebrating the best in all of us.
Each week, we've been showing you teens that prove age doesn't matter. You can achieve success through hard work and dedication. 18-year-old AJ Martinson continues this trend. He's not only a young filmmaker, but he's using his film to try and expose a problem in the world and fix it.
Podoconiosis. P-O-D-O-C-O-N-I-O-S-I-S. Podoconiosis. Podoconiosis is actually a form of elephantiasis. It's non-viral, and it comes from the volcanic soil. When people walk barefoot in the soil, this fiber inside the soil gets up into the lymph nodes and infects them, and basically the entire foot will start to swell up, and eventually leading to the foot being completely amputated.
AJ Martinson is all of 18 years old, and he's already tackling a heavy topic. This young filmmaker is on a mission.
I am interested in podoconiosis because it is a completely neglected disease. The only reason people get podoconiosis is because they are not wearing shoes. In America, everybody has shoes. In America, we don't need to worry about this disease.
He's trying to bring publicity to this condition so it'll be prevented and eventually wiped out. He's doing it by picking up his camera, making a documentary, and getting his message out to the world.
I've always loved to push buttons, and here's this whole screen filled with buttons. So I borrowed the software and started editing some of our family movies, and I just fell in love with it. And that's when I realized I need to start filming stuff on my own that now I can edit. And I just started going out with a little Sony Handycam and just filming my friends doing whatever and bringing it back and editing it. The first time I picked up a video camera was around 8th grade.
It was something he always wanted to try. He experimented time after time.
What do I want to see in the first scene, the second scene, the third scene? And I do this until I feel like I have the general outline of the story written. And I would kind of tell stories with Legos, and almost like a movie director, I would direct them in my imagination, and I would do retakes and reshoots and all these different things. I established the good guys, I established the bad guys, I developed the backstory for the main character, I set up the betrayal for the main character, and then I set up how that betrayal goes down. And I would just kind of build this story in this own world in my mind.
And as he got older, he realized he could do some good with his filmmaking.
My filmmaking is basically a gift and an ability that I have been given, and I want to use that to help people who are less fortunate than I am. Podoconiosis in particular, because unlike bigger diseases that have voices already, this is a relatively unvoiced disease.
He first heard of the condition a few years ago when he went to Ethiopia.
But when I saw this disease and the horrificness of it, it left an impression on my mind. We were walking through a garden at a museum, and we turned the corner and there was a homeless man laying there with his foot exposed. And on it, it looked like mushrooms were growing. The foot was swelled up about 3 or 4 times what it should have been. It looked like moss was growing on it. I feel absolutely sad that they have this disease.
And it all led to this. This is his documentary about the tropical disease.
The movie's about 5 to 6 minutes long. It's very brief, but it's supposed to be incredibly informative. The message of the film is, if there is adequate funding to provide enough shoes for the children of people with podoconiosis, in 20 years, this disease could be completely non-existent. It talks about, number 1, what the disease is, who has it, where is it located, and number 2, what steps we can take to help prevent it and what they need to do over there to help treat it. Well, the biggest thing all of this has taught me is always have a script in mind before I film anything. I graduated high school with a 4.2 GPA, valedictorian of my class, and I don't want to go to college. I don't feel like in my profession, number 1, college is all that necessary. I learn much faster by getting out and getting experience in what I enjoy doing. And number 2, that is $100,000 or more that I could actually be spending on furthering my career and various books to kind of further my own education and further my own knowledge. And that to me allows me to put more focus on my film career and getting out and making the contacts I need to be successful in the industry.
So far, so good for AJ. When we last spoke with him, he was working on a feature film.